It is 7 p.m. We'll call the meeting to order and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, up first, public comment. Oh, sorry. Up first, we need to elect a secretary for the evening. Joan is out. Benj is on military duty.
I'd like to nominate Rhonda.
Rhonda, would you accept that nomination?
Why?
You're good at it.
Second.
You did a lovely job last time.
She did a great job.
I'll accept it.
Okay, so we have a motion by Peggy and support by Trudy. All in favor of Rhonda being secretary tonight, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Rhonda is the secretary. All right, now public comment.
I'm back.
Okay.
So I want to raise two issues tonight that are basically old business. The first is the lake level study that was done by the county. I was here a couple of months ago and encouraged you to read the study and discuss it in a public meeting and take some action as you felt appropriate. I haven't seen it on the agenda since then, and it's been 2 months now. I understand that part of the issue is that not all of you have read the study, so I would again encourage you tonight to read the study. You need to publicly discuss it and decide what, if any, action the board's going to take on it. Time's growing short. Once the county files in court to have the lake level set by the judge, your opportunity to have any meaningful input on the issue is going to be dead. So if you don't act and you don't act soon, you're going to lose that. You're going to lose that chance, and you're going to shirk that responsibility. So it's, as I said last time, the gist of the report is only 30 pages long. I certainly hope that you would take the time to read those 30 pages and then get it on the agenda, next meeting, maybe the middle of April at the latest, because time is growing short. You can't know when the county is going to act, and as I suggested last time, one of the first things you may want to do is send a letter to the county saying, we're looking at it, don't take any further action until we've had a chance to give you our input. So I stress strongly that I hope you guys will read the report and take the appropriate action. The other old business item is the Bridgeton fire contract. I don't know if it's been signed or not. If it hasn't been signed, I'd be interested in knowing why not, because last fall I think it came up and the board was working on it, the fire department was working on a proposal in terms of costs. Bridgeton was looking at it apparently, but I haven't seen anything in the minutes that says the townships have signed the contract. So I'll tell you from experience that you may think you have an agreement with Bridgeton, but if you don't have it in writing, you ain't got it. So I encourage you to finish the Bridgeton contract, get it down in black and white, get it signed, dated, and be done with it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Since Joan isn't here, she would normally make this announcement that Support the Troops is March 28th at the VFW. The doors open at noon. The first band plays at 1. They have 50-50 Chinese auction. They sell food, cold drinks, and that. So I think it's important that the community, we've been doing this for forever and that. So I would like to see, that kind of stuff gets out to the community and that, because not everybody's on Facebook and that kind of stuff. So
Is there a flyer?
they do have flyers, yeah.
There's a flyer out there.
Yeah,
Could you get one, Peggy, and we can put it on the website?
Yes, I will do that.
okay. I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that that was coming up. 'Cause
Thank you.
It's very important because we use it to raise money for phone cards, for the veterans that are over, the people serving overseas. We also use it for, if a veteran needs, home repairs and things like that, and the majority of it stays in our community. So I think it's really
Does
important.
that support the pantry as well?
Yes, it does. Yes, yeah.
And the medical equipment that they store there too?
Well, that's just something that they've been doing for years and that, but it's a really fun time if you've never gone. It's a really good time, and everybody works really hard to make it a success, and that the ladies auxiliary does all the cooking and everything, and it's a lot of fun, and they have, I think 8 bands this year and that, so yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, I've even got the band lined up. Anybody need it?
Yeah, and if anybody would like to make a donation, you know, they take donations because they do a Chinese auction. And so they set up for, you know, and you buy tickets and put them in the little bags and that kind of stuff. So if anybody would be interested in making some kind of a donation, you know, our VFW would really appreciate it. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Have you considered doing the Zoom meetings, Zooming them? I've asked
Do you
about
want
it
to
several
finish your?
times.
Do you want more public comment time, or is that it?
No. What do you mean more?
Like,
public?
you can finish your public comment time if you want, and then I can answer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then on this lake level, I was at that meeting when the gentleman was here from the county. That's been a very long time. When did you get the report back?
It was, I believe, April to June when we first started. Do you have the date that we started with you?
That you started with us?
Yeah,
You signed a contract in May.
in May.
Yeah.
Right, so April to June. That was a good guess.
Do you mean the lake level or lake
Lake,
spring?
lake level, lake
Oh,
level.
I was thinking of spring.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I just know it keeps being brought up at meetings and nothing, it never ends up on the agenda and there's been no more discussion on it. I'm sorry. So I just was wondering, how long have you had it back? Or you think-
I put it on the website as soon as we got it from the county. I actually emailed Dave immediately and said, hey, here's that study you've been asking about.
Mhm.
It was January.
So it was January.
So you're still, nobody's read it?
Well, people
I've
have
read
read it. I don't know
I've
if
read
they've
it.
read it in its entirety. But we also had 2 out, so I don't like to put things on knowing we're gonna be short 2 members.
You had to what?
I didn't want to put it on the agenda today because we have 2 people gone today. And I
Right,
feel like everyone should have a say. I think we probably need another public hearing. I mean, sending a letter that says, hey, give us time is one thing, but to take an official stance on something, to me, that I don't know what to even put on the agenda
well, I
as far
know,
as
but
taking
you've had
a
2
stand.
missing on and off quite a while now. I mean, you still have to conduct business. You
Yeah.
have a forum. So, I don't know why that would interfere, so, okay.
Any other public comment? Oh, wait, hold on, we're done with public comment.
Yeah, I have a comment, but it's not for the board so much. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was out on the lake last year when the DNR was out doing their survey. I seen them put several baskets into the lake. And I asked for a copy of that survey when it was completed. I just got back from vacation, but while I was gone, I received it in the mail. So it's a 30-page document, but anybody that's interested in that document, I'd be more than willing to share it with them. That's all.
What was it they were
It's a
studying?
survey on the fish level in
Fish.
Wolf Lake. Yes.
Not plants.
This truly is a board comment, and I just wanted the board and even our residents to know. Supervisor Fano took an email, and it was about taxes, so she forwarded it to me, and then I forwarded it to our assessor, and they came up at the board of review, and a decision was made. And the family was very worried that with the taxable value where it was, they were going to lose their home or have to leave Egelston Township, and they were so distraught. So the process worked exactly like it should, and I guess I could give a little shout out to our board of review. The ladies have been on it for like 20 years. we get complimented all the time that they're top notch and they do a really great job. So kudos to those girls. But anyway, I took out parts so that you couldn't recognize who this resident is, but it says, "Thank you so much for all the work you all did!" Explanation point. I can confidently 100% say we do not have to sell our house. You have given us the biggest relief. We were so close to just wanting to give up. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We truly mean it. The security we're able to provide our family means so much. I truly want you to know how much I appreciate you fighting for us in our household. So we hear a lot of negative, and I just wanted to have some positive and notice that that the process is working. It worked exactly like it should. They got some relief. So I just say kudos to everyone involved. And while I'm at it, I take calls all the time from taxpayers, and the big thing is the school debt, because that's a big chunk of the millage. And if I'm correct, from my L4029s, which are the millage rates that I receive to enter on our tax database every year, one of them expires, one of their bond debts expires in 2026. I don't know when this year. And the other one is in 2028. So hopefully taxpayers can get some reprieve there, unless they have another millage for security or a new building or something. But I would verify that by calling Todd Ronnie, who is the school's finance director, to verify that. But that's what I have on my L4029s that I get. So just a little update on taxes and how the Board of Review worked in this instance.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment?
Good evening, Brett Herman, 11385 Sherman, Ravenna Township. I'm our District 2 Commissioner. Good evening, Egelston. Just came from a full board meeting. Not really much to say at the county. They're about a third of the way through the fiscal year. So far, everything's run a little bit under budget. Reminder, we have Muskegon County Recycling coming up April 25th, 1350 Keating. That'll be basic electronic, pesticides, antifreeze, stuff like that. No tires. We still haven't gotten the Eagle grant yet for the tires. They're hoping that's going to come through sometime for the fall cleanup.
Okay.
Probably same as you guys. Anyway, anything else?
Do you have a shredder? Will you have a shredder there? You did one year where you could take paper and they would shred all your personal papers.
Let me pull up the website. Otherwise, I can get
What
back
was
to
that
you.
day, April
25th?
20?
Yeah, April 25th.
Okay.
I
Actually,
can pull it up on the website.
yeah, it's on the website. 1 second.
Okay.
Muskegon County Recycling Event, 9 to 1, April 25th. Rain or shine, Fruity County residents only. Business waste and regular trash not accepted. No tires. Hazardous waste including mercury, petroleum products, antifreeze, pesticides, herbicides, acids, bases, CFL, and fluorescent light bulbs, and oil-based paint products. Must be in containers no greater than 6 gallons. No drums of any kind. Latex paint will not be accepted. Electronics, including computers, peripherals, TVs, and other electronic devices. Please note CRT TVs will be accepted. Yeah, that's it.
So was Eggleston able to use that? Or is that only?
County residents.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole county?
Yep, that's why it's.
Okay, thank you.
And Brett, could you give us the address again, please?
You want me to shoot it over to you if you want to throw
I
it out?
appreciate it.
Yeah.
And the
Okay.
address again too, please, on Keating?
1350 Keating.
Thank you.
And that's 9 to 1?
9 to 1. Yeah, it's on the solid waste landfill's website. So,
Thank you.
all set then or not?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other public comment? All right, public comment is closed. We're up to approval of the agenda.
Excuse me, are you gonna answer the Zoom question you were gonna do?
Oh, yeah. We have a Zoom subscription. We could do Zoom, but I don't know how that would work as far as letting people in or who's gonna man that. It's hard to run a meeting and I'm not a tech person, so I mean, I know as much as it takes to get through life, but as far as letting people into a Zoom meeting while we're going, you know, we don't have anyone on staff that can navigate, like right now we have a loose wire and it's rumbling through the system, like things like that is difficult. So if there's a lot of interest, we could do it. I don't know if there would be more people that would participate, but how would we do public comment? I guess I'd have to do some research and see who's all interested. For the most part, it seems like people that are interested come or they watch the YouTube.
Yeah, it's nice to have though if you can't make it, or if for some reason the gentleman can't be here to tape it.
Or they don't have internet.
It's nice to have the Zoom. I mean, you Zoom with the attorney a lot, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that we can't do a Zoom, it's that I personally don't know how to navigate letting people in to make a comment, or can anyone jump in the meeting, or how that works with the Zoom platform.
They just Zoomed it, and you could just tune in at the time, and of course, somebody would have to let you in, they'd say, you know, they're waiting to let you in, and then pretty soon they'd let you in the meeting, and then you watch it. But no, we were not able to comment back and forth.
They're muted.
Okay, they're muted, and
Yeah,
so
during
if they're
Zoom.
on Zoom, then they cannot make a public comment?
The only time they did is when we were during COVID,
Right.
and we couldn't, you know,
I'll have to check with the attorney and see, because I'd hate to start doing it and say that you can't do a public comment and then violate the
Well,
OMA,
That's
so.
expensive to call the attorney.
Yeah, but it's expensive to get sued if we do something wrong too. I can look through records, there might be old
Yeah.
records. There are not in the supervisor's office, I can tell you that, but maybe someone else around here.
Sean Vanderstel usually handled it, didn't he, Trudy, Sean?
John let them in here on this computer and muted
Yeah,
them.
then Sean did it Sean's the one that started doing it.
He posted them to the
Yeah,
website, or,
yeah.
I don't know his website too, I know he
I
posted
don't
them to
know,
both.
I'll
But if
remember.
they, I mean, if you don't have internet, you're saying you wanna join by phone, Trudy? And I don't know how that
Yeah.
would work either, I don't have a phone out here, so
They just do the Zoom meeting ID, I believe, and then they.
Right.
they
they're
phone
in.
into the computer?
right, yeah.
Yeah.
You have
Okay.
an ID number. If you look back at the minutes when we had the Zoom
Oh,
meetings, it'll show you, it'll give you the information at the top of the page, what they have to put in.
Okay,
And they just type it in, and then they're able to watch.
Because we have to mute when we get on it, we have to mute
Right.
ourselves.
Yeah,
John
so
will
that
ask you to
can't
mute if you didn't.
comment.
John
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
yeah.
okay.
It's just something that would be nice, because I do know a lot of residents always look forward to that.
The original intent with YouTube was to be live on YouTube.
Right.
And that didn't happen because we don't have 1,000. How many do you have, Miles?
I don't know where we're at right now.
Not sure. It's not 1,000, so we can't go live on YouTube, but I'll look into it and try to figure out something.
Yeah, I think it would be nice, and like I said, in case this gentleman has someone else before us, he has to do, you know, I'm grateful for all that he has done, but there are a lot of residents, I know that, you know, they're just not that techy either, and they just always liked it being on Zoom, because then you could just post it anywhere.
Yeah, you're the first one I've heard from, so, you know, if they,
Several times you've heard from me on it.
maybe if they hound me, it'll happen faster. I don't know. I'll do my best to get it figured out soon.
Okay.
All right.
One more thing, I'm sorry. Can we get an update on the Bridgeton contract? Was it signed? Is it gonna be signed?
It's not signed. Their meeting was Monday night. The
Bridgeton's
reason,
meeting was Monday
Monday
night?
the 23rd.
oh, the 23rd. I thought it was Monday. Okay, we have a few more days, so they don't meet until the 23rd. I've been in contact with the supervisor. Trudy did a lot of work between her and the attorney and the fire chief, and I'm not sure who else she worked with, but she got the map updated, a lot of things
So our end is ready?
finessed.
Our end is ready, basically?
Our end is ready. The board had approved it, and then Trudy said, well, wait, you guys approved, when she was absent, you guys approved it without clarifying a couple things with the attorney. So she went ahead and finished those things up. So it's all tied up with Bo, just waiting for signatures. And our deputy clerk will sign with me if Joan is not able to come sign next week, hopefully Tuesday.
So Bridgeton's supposed to take action on the 23rd?
They are. They're supposed to approve it on the 23rd, and then they will get with me hopefully Tuesday morning. So
Thank you.
Is
And
there
there is
a
a,
big increase? Cause I know it was what, $500? or something? Did you guys increase what you're gonna charge them?
A $5,000 flat fee and then a per call fee too. And there's this whole chart that came from the Fires Association of fees, and different trucks and people that respond have different rates, so.
With a max of 5,000 per year for the
Yeah, so it'd be a
actual
total
cost.
of 10,000 maximum, and right now it's under 2,000 for the whole year. So it's a big raise for us and a big jump for them too.
Thank you.
There is a clause in our contract, and maybe Dave, you can help me with what it's called. We can, I had to look it up because I didn't know what it was. They can sign it and email it over to you, and then we can sign it. You can sign it in separate times, and
Right.
it counts still.
Once,
You don't have
once
to do
both
it.
parties sign, then it's binding, but you don't necessarily have to sign at the same time.
On the same piece of paper.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Approval of the agenda for March 19th, 2026. Looking for a motion.
Make a motion to approve the agenda for March 19th, 2026.
Second.
And the treasurer report.
Let's do that on consent agenda.
Sorry.
So Corey motioned. Is there a second?
Second.
Peggy? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda's approved. Next is approval of the consent agenda. I would like to make a motion that we include the treasurer's report as letter E on the consent agenda.
Support.
Second.
And then it is next to your pile of papers on your desk. And they're out for the public as well. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, consent agenda approved. The tire recycling grant that Commissioner mentioned, I was talking with Pam at Solid Waste, and she is organizing it for the municipalities. She's hoping to get something back soon, but she will let us know, and we'll be a part of it if it happens for us. If that does happen, we'll need a lot of volunteers. She said 2 trailers would be about 15 people, strong, able-bodied people to, you want some on the ground taking them out of cars, and then some in the trailers shoving them in. So if you would like to serve at that event, if it's able to happen, please send me an email or a text if you have my cell phone number, or look on the website for it, that you would be willing. We don't know a date or time yet.
The deadline to apply is March 31st.
She's already applied for us.
Oh, she did apply on our behalf.
Yep.
And I will say that in the past, the county has used incarcerated people that are let out for the day to come work. That are willing to come and excited to come, so that may be an option.
Excited.
Maybe some.
I have some questions, but okay. All right, action items. Up first, we have a presentation from Mike at Solitude. If you'd like to come.
Stand here.
Yeah.
Alright, my name is Michael with Solitude Lake Management. I was the applicator responsible for treatments and surveys last year. And then also one of my employees, Chris Riso, was also in charge of one of the surveys. So last year in May, we did a survey of the lake, went around the entire shoreline, through some rakes to get some plant identifications. We found around 37.25 acres of milfoil and 9.5 acres of curly pondweed. We got approval to do that treatment, which took place June 11th. And then in July, we did a follow-up survey of the treatment zones and the remainder of the shoreline to see native abundance, residual invasives, and whatnot. At that survey, we found 5.9 acres of macroalgae, and that is a blend of Cara or Nitella, which is a native, and then we also found some populations of starry stonewort, which is classified as an invasive for the area. And then 7.9 acres of milfoil, both regrowth and new populations that we saw pop up post first treatment. At the completion of the year, I made a year-end review, email and sent it off, basically just recapping the activities during the year and giving the board some other options for following year activities. I wanted to highlight a few options. the status quo of proceeding the way that you did last year with the funds that you had, where we would focus on doing as much treatment to invasives early season as we can, and then if there's funds left over, to then open up areas that are of nuisance level following that initial treatment. But that kind of strategy is more of a reactive strategy instead of a proactive strategy. If the board wanted to move to more of a proactive strategy, we would recommend an increase to your budget. We're suggesting that you increase your budget by 50%, which would change it from the 9,500 to 14,250. With that, we could be a little bit more proactive initially with some systemic herbicides, which after years of application, that area will reduce and be less acreage required to treat year after year. And it'll also open up some funds to be used later in the season to open up any navigation area from people's docks to open water, open up swimming areas for homeowners, and then also treating any sort of safety issues around the beach, since we know that your lake is very popular with beachgoers. We also suggested a possibility for water quality studies. Once again, because you're so popular with your beachhead, doing E. coli samples to make sure that you're within spec for safety, and then water quality nutrient study to see what your levels are, and that would help us understand what kind of booms and busts of algae growth you'd have throughout the year. Another option is bioaugmentation. That is another proactive approach where we would use biological products to reduce the organic diversity of your sediments, putting it back to more of a harder structure like sands, clays, and whatnot, giving the algae and weeds less area to grow, but not necessarily eradicating that, because we still want that natural balance of natives around your lake. The bioaugmentation, if that was something that you wanted to look into, the rough costs for that would be $5,200, and that would treat around 20 acres twice a year. The water quality samples would be $1,700 per instance, and that would be an E. coli sampling, 2 water quality samples at separate locations of the lake, DO, dissolved oxygen study, and then clarity, second depth, to just see what your overall clarity of the water is. That'll help us determine your viable area to produce vegetation.
Are you gonna leave me with a copy of that? Because I'm not gonna remember all that.
I was gonna ask for the same thing, that's too much.
I can send off an email summarizing the cost of the additional services, and then you have the email with the suggested actions minus the cost. So I can get a sample of the cost and then email that out with the initial year-end review.
And you could just say he discussed lake things or something.
Perfect, thank
After
you.
you said one water quality, you said two times you would check.
So one water quality instance, which would include a single E. coli sampling, and then 2 water quality bundle tests in separate locations of the lake performed simultaneously.
And then in addition, nutrient and DO and clarity.
The additional will be the DO, and which we can monitor with the device that we have, and then clarity, which utilizes a Secchi disc, where you drop it down to see where sunlight stops penetrating, so you don't see the disc again, and that'll tell you that your clarity is of X depth.
Do you work with other entities like U of M or anybody else that has studied our lake and done samples,
So
or
we
maybe
do.
an extension office or the Muskegon County Soil District or anything like that?
So we do work with some of the universities when we send out hybrid milfoil samples to get their genetic testing. We work with them, and then other than that, we work with different departments of Eagle, the A&C department for our permitting, Rural 97 for the biological augmentation type services, and then different local offices. I also service Northern Indiana, so I do work with Purdue and whatnot for stuff that we do down there. So they're also people that I can reach out to ask questions for Michigan, even though they're in Indiana.
And I just wanted to ask one more question about moving water. Keeping some sort of a fan or thing moving the water so that not the surface, the ground level is less likely for them to attach the fragments and.
Yeah, as a lake-wide option, not really, but as a homeowner option, yes, we have those options for people. We either we can sell fountains that will help disperse water. If you're mainly just looking to move the water around your area, we recommend circulators. We partner with Casco where they have an amazing product called AquatiClear. It's basically a fountain turned sideways with a specially designed cage around the head. So this way when the weeds, sticks, and other debris come in, it doesn't clog the prop, it helps push it out. So you're not sitting out there constantly cleaning out the prop every so often.
Aquatic clear?
AquatiClear, AQUATICLEAR.
Thank you.
And that's from Casco, KASCO. And then that can be either purchased through us and drop shipped to a resident if they're mechanically inclined to install it themselves, or we can do installations as well.
And do you know, are there any like equal requirements, or I don't think we have any ordinances that limit that?
For the circulators,
Yes.
we don't have any requirements as of right now. For subsurface bubblers, there are requirements because at that point you could be altering the sediment levels. So that would be something that we have to take into consideration.
And like you said, some of the native things down there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Can I ask you, you said something about cleaning for residents or something in it, clearing?
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
So basically, if a resident along the shoreline was completely inundated with vegetation or algae, we could, under the permit guidelines, treat 100 feet of shoreline, 100 feet out, or to the 5-foot depth counter, whichever happens first, to open up navigation to open water and or swimming areas at the homeowner's frontage, essentially. And that could be done under our permit that we pull for the lake.
But would that be at the cost of the resident and not the township itself?
It depends on the board's stance on how they want to control the lake. If it's gonna be a invasives only kind of a thing, we would treat a resident's frontage for invasives. Now, if they wanted to, I'm not gonna speak for you guys, so if you wanted to then treat a native and keep a healthy, safe, recreational availability for everybody, then we can look at what our regulations are for treating homeowners and then at what threshold that would be initiated.
Because I think that would be a little unfair to the taxpayers, you know, that don't live on the lakes, you know, and our money is going to be used to clear out somebody's space on the lake, you know. I think that's something that if you're going to do that, that should really be the homeowner's responsibility and not the township itself. I can see you doing that at our beaches, the 2 beaches that we have in our boat launch, and that because that's public. And that, but for you guys to do that, you know, to a private person's home, I don't think that's fair to the rest of the taxpayers.
Yeah, and like I said, that's what the stance of the board comes to. It's like if we're strictly just doing invasives, then that's best for the lake overall, regardless if it's in front of a person's home or a public area.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Could you treat, like if we wanted to do that plan, could you treat except for residences? Or are you saying like it wouldn't work, like we couldn't treat those species because they would move from the resident's home into our public beaches? Would it spread?
So,
Can I ask one more question on that, or to say something? Where these 2 invasives are around the perimeter, right? That's where
Yes.
that's what your map showed.
yeah.
So it might be a residence in front of a residence.
Yes, but at that point, we are, for all the applications that we made last year, it was for invasives. So, like I said, whether or not it was in front of somebody's property or not, it is still best for the overall health of the lake, so they don't fragment, go elsewhere, and repopulate. Now, to get clarification on your question, Amanda, are you talking invasives or natives?
Either, I guess.
Okay, so invasives, pretty easy. Yes, if we don't treat the invasives, most of our invasives like curlyleaf and Eurasian water milfoil spread through fragmentation and through seeds, kind of like what are called turions, and then also through their root systems or their tuber systems. So if we did not treat, and then a boater came through or a fisherman came through, snagged some of those vegetations, the wind blows it that way, it's going to repopulate in an area that may not have had milfoil or curlyleaf at that time.
Okay.
Now, rolling back to natives, a monoculture can be just as hazardous as invasives, because when you have native plant life, you want a nice diversity, so everybody's fighting for space, keeping each other in check. So if you got a huge monoculture of X or Y native, it could top out, making it a hazard for boats to come through, or hazards for swimmers to come through. And then also will keep encroaching down the line where there's viable sediment and sunlight to grow.
Okay.
So like that could eventually go into the public access areas from there.
Like Kara.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is stony, what you call it?
Starry stonewort.
Is that snot? Is that the same thing they call snot?
No.
Is it invasive?
So no, because what I think you're talking about is the algae that when you grab it, it feels very slimy.
It's big brown.
Yeah, that, so if it's
That's
brown, it's most
stonewort.
likely Oscillatoria, which is a native algae, kind of a pain in the butt to take care of, but it is native. The starry stonewort is similar looking to carrot. It is classified as a macroalgae. So when you look down in the water, you may confuse that for a plant because it's down there, rooted. I use air quotes there because it's not actually rooted. It has little fingers that kind of like help get a foot, but not true roots. And then when you pull it out and you squeeze it, it's got a nice pop to it. Like you can just grab one of the little stalks, give it a squeeze, and it'll pop. That helps you determine that it's closer to starry stonewort, because Cara won't pop when you squeeze it, but some Nitellas will. If you pull the if you pull the algae out of the water, those little fingers that help keep it seated, in there will be little white stars, little bulbils. Those are its reproductive parts. That is how you can 100% guarantee that that is starry stonewort.
And that's an invasive.
Yes.
Can I ask some questions?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Did you treat the northeast bay?
The little part that's actually choked and then opens up into a little area,
Yeah.
yes. We treated, looking at it, probably 70% of the surface area of that bay. We treated for milfoil and curly.
And last year there was it almost looked like an oil slick all around the perimeter of the lake, black.
Okay.
No really form to it. What is that, you know?
It could be a number of things. Without testing it, I couldn't really tell you exactly what it is, because that like holographic sheen could come from natural instances like decaying fish parts and whatnot, oils naturally forming, or a discharge of a plume from a runoff. But I couldn't tell you exactly what it is without testing it.
So based on your assessment, what would you say is the most serious concern for the lake now?
For the lake, based on how much area we treated for milfoil and curlyleaf, milfoil is your top concern, because it was just almost 40 acres, and then 10 of which was curlyleaf pondweed. So main threat right now is milfoil, then curlyleaf, then starry stonewort.
I'm sorry, how much was the curly? How many acres?
We treated 9.5 acres of curlyleaf and 37.25 acres of milfoil.
And is that what the big blooms are that we've seen in the last couple of years? Is the water, whatever?
They're not plumes though, actually, they're like big mud islands,
Kara.
So,
up to like
And they've
20
only
feet
been there 2
diameter.
years. That's the last 2 years.
so it's like up on the surface,
Yes.
it's that brown and it looks like it has algae in it. So that, when we came across that, that was a floating mass of macroalgae because they don't have a true root system once they start to decay, or if the makeup of your sediments isn't enough to keep that organism down, it will actually take everything it's holding up and start floating around. So that is a algae that's floating.
That's what was really bad last year, because I was afraid that boats were gonna hit it even. I mean, they were like this, and you could take your crack.
It's so
at 'em.
stinky. I mean,
It's
Yeah.
so
Could
heavy.
not break it.
Yeah.
Could not break
Is
it.
that native? Those big, are those native?
It depends on the algae that's inside of them, but it depends on the algae inside of them. If it's Cara or Nitella, it's a native algae. If it's Starstone Wort, it'd be a invasive
so you
algae.
personally haven't tested any of those?
We
Because there
went
were
by-
several last year. I
We
mean,
went by and inspected them.
Okay.
That was what we noted a few of those on the July survey.
It's usually in the
That
fall.
like almost the whole lake.
Like the
It
end
was
of
bad.
August into
I remember
September.
being up the kayak.
Is it
Wow.
bad?
Yeah. The last 2 years.
You don't even wanna
So
swim.
that's not Cara, what you were describing there?
He doesn't know.
It could be.
It could be.
Yeah, when we did our survey in July, we noted that as macroalgae that was floating.
And I'm assuming that you knew before you did your treatment what the predecessor company did in terms of treatment?
We did look up online. The treatment reports are public knowledge, so we looked up Eagle's water map and looked at what they did in the past. Yes.
So what did you do different, if anything, from the previous company?
I'd have to look back at the treatment report to see exactly what products they used. But our timing was different. We were a little bit ahead of schedule for the survey, and then the treatment was around the same time because we had to work around DNR fishery studies. But the area was slightly larger, I believe. This is all off of memory because we checked it when we did the initial.
So can you somehow spray for these huge cement things that we get at the end of summer?
Yeah, we can.
Get rid of it?
We would come through and we would
Is it
try to
something
break it up
warm?
as much as we can with the fan boat or one of our normal boats, because the more you can get that stuff spread out, the more surface area the product has to do its job. So then we can break it up as much as we can, then spray it, allow the product to do its job, and then it should drop out once its buoyancy ratio goes in favor of sinking.
Would that be in your quote then? Or did-
It can be, like with, that is part of if the budget is increased, we will have more funds available to us to take care of those. Because then we wouldn't be using it all up in the initial, invasive application.
To go on Google and, to look at this stuff, it says not to touch it, not to swim in it, from my own research. So, it's kind of scary, actually.
It could tangle you in there. I've read about it too, that
I mean,
swimmers.
I don't know why you'd wanna go in it, but
Well, if you're jet
if
skiing.
it's there, you know it's elsewhere as
If you're
well.
jet
So
skiing
if
and
you're
you
gonna go
come across a
swimming,
big wad of it,
I'd
it takes you
fire.
under and you pick it up. I have one other question, and I know it's taken a lot of time, but I tried to call the company and ask these questions, and I was told that I'm not allowed to talk to them. So that's maybe something this board needs to address. But I see the map, I've looked at it extensively, and I see how much area it is, but how dense is it, how thick is it? You know, is there spots where it's minuscule and then there's dense ones, or? I want some baseline data to apply for an invasive species AIS grant.
Yes, so basically, when we come around and do the survey, we do a visual survey and a rake toss initially to see what plants are there in density. Michigan has a specific survey called an AVAS survey, where we break the shoreline up into 100-foot sections, do a rake drag, and then utilize the teeth on the rake to get an assessment of the density of the area. Michigan rates things in an A, B, C, D option, where actually when I send this out, I'll include the maps because I put the definitions on the July survey map. So like an A would be 2% of total area, B would be 2 to 20, C would be 21 to 60, and then D would be 60 or higher.
If you could send that information to Amanda or whenever it comes, that's all I wanted. I just wanted more specific detail about this.
If you
First
wanted a
results.
full-on AVAS survey, that would be a different cost, because the survey that we do is just to get the area and the types of weeds that we see and then propose a treatment off of that. That is more of like a study.
But
kind
in
of a survey.
general, can you say that this is the worst we've ever seen, or it's, it's kind of in the beginning stages, or where are we at?
Yeah, because we definitely, when we do the initial survey in the format that we do now, we definitely look at the density, because when we do the treatment recommendations, we don't really want to suggest treating a single propagule over there, because for us to do a efficient treatment, we would have to increase that area just to treat that one plant, because unless we change the product for that specific thing, you don't want to have too much. It's basically called an edge bleed. You don't want more edge to area ratio. So like if you treated a 10 by 10 foot section, you only have 100 square feet of treating, but you have 40 square feet of edge space that allows it to dilute out. So yeah.
I just wanted more specifics, like I said, so I can apply for a grant.
Yeah.
Or
If
we
you're
can,
applying for
but I can
grants, I
get
would
some
recommend doing the
information.
full-on AVAS survey, because that's more of a dedicated thing in a structured format, versus like, I'm not saying what we're doing is anecdotal, but the grant company could be like, oh, well, you're just doing a visual and a rake toss survey. That's not as like
Yeah.
in depth.
Could you send me a quote for the whole survey, the AVAS survey?
Yeah.
And we can look at that
Yeah.
and look at the grants that are
And I
available.
wouldn't apply myself, I would bring it to the board, and I'm just trying to do some legwork and get some baseline data.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I
Thank
ask
you
one
so
more
much.
question?
Yeah.
The macroalgicide, are there other lakes that have had it and that you've treated it and been successful to be rid of it?
Macroalgae, yeah. Like the floating stuff, I have no like concern about being able to not treat it, right? Like I know I can treat that, no problem. But I haven't had to treat that at any other lake because I haven't seen it floating like that. So it's kind of a unique situation for this. But treating macroalgae that's submerged and whatnot, we've done that many times and have had great success.
So
you can
what makes it
eradicate
come
it?
up then, just because it can't hold?
Like I said, I can't really give you the exact answer on it. My feeling is the fact that your sediment makeup is very unique, to where the sediment isn't attached, so to speak, to the other layers of sediment. So at a certain point, the algae will get buoyant enough that that sediment will pull that layer apart and then come up.
Okay.
But
So is it, thank you.
Is it brought, because all of a sudden we have it, and we never had it before. Is it something that was brought from another lake to our lake?
Through boats.
Or is it always been
Just the
at
health of
the
the-
bottom of the lake and we just never knew about it?
when it comes to starry stonewort, it was brought in at some point, somehow. But when it comes to Nitellas of Cara, they've always been here. Algae reproduces as a single cell organism. Even though it makes a structure, it's still a single cell is the thing that's living, and then it's got a buddy right next to it making that structure. So like, it could have been in the deepest parts of your lake that you couldn't see, as long as it had enough light and whatnot. It could have just been there, but not had enough area to grow. It was being outcompeted by X or Y other thing. Yeah.
Do you ever work on changing the sediment?
On changing the sediment, that's when the biological type products would come in.
It's a bioaugmentation?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. That was really informative.
One more.
We can see that stuff come up behind wake boats when they go around to the surface. Does that make it spread more and populate more yet when it comes up like that?
When it comes up, it's not going to keep populating from there. But I would hazard a guess that the wake boats are contributing to that dislodging factor.
Well, we can see it come behind them when they go around.
Yeah,
I mean,
'cause
they go
like-
around once and then you wait a little bit and you can see these orbs, whatever you want to call them,
Yeah.
coming to the surface.
I know the DNR recently did a study that like went wild on YouTube showing the results, but they were getting sediment displacement at 20 feet from
And
a wake
more,
boat coming.
yeah.
Yeah, so I do know that there is litigation going through the houses in Michigan to extend the restrictions of wake boats on lakes, I don't know what is gonna be passed, cause there's a lot of lobbyists out there that wanna make sure
Yeah,
the
it's
wake
going
boats can
nowhere.
stay.
The boat people are
Yeah.
stopping that. One other quick question, how many lakes close by here has your company done that we can use for a reference?
A lot. So I treat Muskegon, we treat Gun Lake, Berry, Allegan, I treat Gun Lake, Mason. We have, I'm blanking on the name right now. It's not Hibbert's. Yeah, I can get you a full-on list, but those are the top 4 that are in this relative area that are of similar.
Like in Muskegon County, Lake County, like Hess Lake, things like that that are close by?
We don't treat Hess Lake.
You just said Muskegon Lake, right?
Yeah, we treat Muskegon Lake.
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of a lake though, that's a river, that's a little bit different comparison to,
Spring fed.
you know, captive audience like the lake with the rivers constantly going through.
Yeah.
That's like a different game for you guys, I'm sure.
But like in this immediate area, I'd have to pull our customer records to be like, hey, these are the ones that match you. If you want to extend the area, Sand Lake in Cass County, Huzzy Lake in St. Joseph County, those are smaller, not to say your lake is small, but smaller lakes that are enclosed, not river fed, not a huge watershed, so to speak.
So you could provide some lakes and we could maybe get a hold of their lake associations or whatever and ask them how they feel that they are working with you guys as a reference?
Yeah, like
I think it's all online too, isn't it? The lakes that you guys cover? I thought I saw that on the website.
we do have like key points to be like, hey,
Okay.
these are the headliner names, because everybody's like, oh, I know that lake, like Van Eden Lake on the East Coast. Like everybody knows Van Eden, so
Okay.
that one's there. I could definitely get you a list of similar accounts in the area that we treat. You can reach out to them on your own. I would have to get permission from them to share their contact information. We already have a list of like 10 or so wide variety of accounts that we have approved references where I can give their contact information out. But they are across the entire state in varying sizes and quality.
Yeah, if we knew the name of the lake, we could do it on ourselves to call, see if there's an
Yeah.
association. One more thing, can residents call you with concerns and complaints, or does it have to go through the township first or whatever? Can we directly contact your company if we see or observe something that we wanna report?
So you can call us directly. I would urge you to funnel it through the board and then to us, because they are our contracted customer. If you wanted to reach out to Solitude, I'm not gonna tell you not to. But it's
Because I
like,
tried last year, before you guys treated the lake, and I was told that I couldn't contact your company at all. It had to go through, they said Joan Rapp.
okay,
That's the only contact that they would talk to
okay.
about anything on the lake that you guys are doing.
They may have told you that you can't get that kind of information, because that kind of information is not classified but pertinent to their account. If you had just general questions about the lake and general questions about, oh, I saw this, treatment date, this kind of a thing, that shouldn't be an issue.
Couldn't even get that far.
Okay.
I couldn't either, and I'm a board member.
Is there
And I
anything
got the same
homeowners can do on
reason,
the lake to
so.
cut this down, like less fertilizer, less phosphorus?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do as a homeowner to help this situation. Reducing fertilizer, making sure that the fertilizer that you're using is a zero phosphorus, reading the bags, or making sure that your company that you employ read the bags and apply the buffer distance, because a lot of these a lot of these fertilizers say do not applicate 50 feet from water, and some of these homes are so close to water that 50
Oh, yeah.
feet is your back, it could even be your front door.
I run the public works and I have to have a pesticide license and I can't get so close to the beaches. But our lake is so populated and there's so many lawns that they're going right to the beach. And
Yeah.
I think it should be said that the homeowners on the lake are part of this, they're responsible too.
Yeah. Another thing that they could do is plant riparian vegetation. So like look into your native prairie grasses or tall grasses, that kind of thing. Plant those along a good percentage of your shoreline. Not the entire thing, because you want to be able to see and access, but those will act as kind of like the sponge. So when the nutrients will start to run off, they'll hit those tall grasses, settle down, they'll eat that before it funnels all the way through into the water.
Thank you.
Good
Going
information.
forward, I feel that had we not brought this issue of this floating vegetation up, that we would have not got that from you. And going forward, I would hope that if you're treating our lake and you see something like that, you would bring it back to our community.
They sent a report. I've never seen it, right, from your second and third visits?
Yeah.
I've never seen it on board member. That's part of the problem.
So that's an internal problem. It's not Michael's fault.
No, no, not at all.
So I found out that there was a report issued, and I called, and I had to jump through some hoops myself as a supervisor. It happens quite regularly, actually, that my name is not John, so I can't get any information until I prove who I am and my reason for wanting the information. But I do have that email now, so as a board, I believe we were told that it was a watch and see, and a year of evaluation. So I didn't know that any report had gone out or to look for anything until I called to say, hey, when are you coming to present your findings? And I was told that they had presented some findings in an email. So I was able to get that, and I have that, and I can share that with the whole board. And then whatever you sent. And then for our residents, whether you want to try to call and see what happens, I would recommend that you do funnel it through me as a supervisor, because I'll be the primary contact right now. And then we know as a board, because if you're just calling Solitude and telling them what you would like to see as a resident, I mean, they're not going to be able to do anything for you unless you pay them. And I don't even know if you work for private citizens, but if you come to the board through us, then I can share with the whole board, and then we can make our decisions with more knowledge from residents. We do have to think about the entire community, not just lakefront homeowners. But we'll consider everyone, that uses the beaches, that live on the lake, and then, everyone who voted for us or didn't.
I think we should get involved with Eagle also, to answer your question. Eric Elgin at Eagle.
I know him.
He's willing to come and work with you, and you could report things to him, and there are watch groups throughout the state from Eagle and DNR, different entities that you can report things to, but Eric's willing to come and
We've
take a look at the lake
dealing
and
with him for a
meet with
couple of years
people.
now. We met him at the Lakes
Yeah.
and Streams thing that they have downtown Muskegon once a year.
And I'm wondering if maybe a lake group might be something that gets taken up. I don't think we initiate that, but
We showed him initially pictures, and he did identify it as starry, the invasive one.
Yep.
But we had some close-up pictures of it. It's, nasty stuff.
once invasives are here, it's difficult and they spread quickly.
The longer
It's
you
hard to
wait, the
eradicate
harder it
them.
is. And they'll tell you that.
But we're not hopeless and helpless. There are things that we can probably do, and we just educate, like you gave some suggestions. The
If it
prairie
gets out of
grasses.
hand, you won't be able to put strong enough chemicals on
Right.
it. They won't, the DNR won't let them.
Yeah.
People won't.
Gypsy
So-
off caterpillar.
But we're not hopeless. There's some things that we can try to do.
All right, well, we do have a full agenda, so thank you for your time. Funnel any questions, comments, anything through me. My email is on our website. You can see me for a card, and I'll be in touch with him, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
And
Linda.
then just to recap, you're gonna send the board the email report.
Yes,
And
that
then
came
I'm
in.
gonna send you a recap of costs and suggestions.
That'd be
Yes,
great.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, we have a report in the packet from our DPW supervisor Herb, and the update on Haza Camp, which you guys have previewed, that lift station. In that is the invoice for CNC. So you'll see on the last page the total. So I'm looking for a motion to approve the $4,409.50 to CNC Electric.
Motion to approve $4,409.50 to CNC Electric for the Hazy Camp lift station.
I second that.
Motion by Trudy, second by Corey. Do a roll call vote.
Cory?
Yes.
Me, yes. Amanda?
Yes.
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 Motion carries. All right, did you want to say anything to start us off, Herb?
Are we on to the spring cleanup?
We are.
So, this year, what I wanna do different is to actually have the spring cleanup at our leaf site on White Road. Not only can we fence it off and keep it away from people using it illegally after hours, but we have a camera there, it's our property, and we're not on Apple Avenue. And that's my recommendation. The dates that you can see, and obviously Bulldog has been our go-to. They're in our township. They give us the best deals. Does anybody have any questions?
Where will they park? Will they come into the leaf site?
So the leaf site, and I'm sure you're very familiar with how large the leaf site is. Probably what we're gonna do is stage the dumpsters either facing west or east, so people will be able to line up. And then obviously, we have such a big area there to control that better than we did on Apple
Are we
Avenue.
gonna block the road off just for that?
I'm sorry, White Road?
Yeah, White
No.
Road, we wouldn't have to do that?
No. There's so much room in there, they could come right off of White Road, right into the leaf site.
Okay,
And if they are residents of Eggleston, they're gonna realize where they're at,
okay.
the leaf site. I mean,
Yeah.
if they're not from
Right
our
there.
township, and we've caught many that aren't during the spring cleanup, that'll be one of our giveaways.
Yeah, when I was standing at the transfer station last year, just checking in with the guys, there were about 3 people that came in wanting to dump, and they were not from Eggleston.
Mhm.
Will Bulldog need, oh, you already answered my question. A key for after hours if they have to come dump.
Yes, Bulldog's gonna get a key to have if they need to get in or after.
Yep, thank you.
It'll still be the same amount, 3 40-yarders, and then I believe it's a 30-yarder for the steel.
And I did confirm with both Amberly at Bulldog and Pam at the dump that Saturday dump fees are free, because we're on the schedule for that. So we only have to pay for the hauling, and then the other 2 days is
On
okay.
Thursday and Friday, and then sometimes we can stage dumpsters. If we have too many on Saturday and they close the county too early, we can stage some too.
Yes, and that's fine.
When's it gonna be?
May 14th and 15th, that's a Thursday and Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. And then Saturday the 16th, 8 a.m. to noon. But we need a motion from the board to go ahead and approve with those dates and time and that location.
I make a motion to approve.
I second.
All right, motion by Corey, second by Peggy. And let's do a roll call vote.
Cory?
Yes.
Me, yes. Amanda?
Yes?
Geraldine?
Yes,
Peggy?
All right, motion carries.
and will not be open after 5 o'clock. People that come after 4:45, that's it. Otherwise, we have to pay overtime to our.
That's correct.
4:45 is it.
That's,
And noon on Saturday.
And Cassidy will post to the website the details. We'll make up a flyer like we did last year, what's excluded. We'll have that, all that on our website.
and I guess another thing that you can do for the gals in the office is to also say, don't forget, we're gonna get our 1-week transfer station in the fall. So we give the residents 2 times a year to get rid of their rubbish.
And we thank you for that.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Now, during this time, will you be allowing people to have keys to do leaves?
Mhm.
Okay, well, I was just wondering, because then that means if somebody has a key to do leaves, they could actually go in to dump after
Oh,
it's closed.
we have cameras.
Well,
Yeah.
that's true, I forget, we got cameras, yeah.
If you witnessed anything that happened at E&A in the last couple of years, in the very, very early mornings, it was
Mess.
travesty.
Yes.
Yeah,
Do you ever take volunteers to help with that, or is it?
No,
That was quick.
I just don't want you to get the idea that you're just living in a utopia, and then when you go do this, you realize you're not. But thank you. Yeah, thank you.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I do.
Mower.
Because I would say 99% of our residents are awesome, but there's that 1% that will throw you for a loop.
Yes.
And we love them too.
Oh,
Sherry's
All right,
like, no.
Bambi, stay out of trouble.
yes, I know.
Yeah.
I think next is the new
Mower.
mower. We talked about this at budget hearings. I tried to put it off all the way to this spring. My recommendation is obviously with Hustler, that's what we have all of our spare parts for, all of our filters, everything. We've been dealing with Hustler for a few years now. It wasn't the cheapest mower, but it also wasn't the most expensive mower. So money that has been budgeted, I put in there the line item, the amount, and I did put in 2 other quotes. Any questions?
Didn't you get a lawnmower last year too?
Yeah, we have multiple lawnmowers for the township. That one was replaced.
Okay.
I wasn't able to budget for both of them the one year, so I budgeted one for the 24-25, and then I budget the other one for 25-26.
Now I understand.
I also put on there that we want to use the same Ranger bid that the fire department used to sell the older mower. And I hope that's okay. He had a lot of luck.
Yeah.
Alex did, you know, we didn't have to deal with the whole closed bid thing, and
Would you list it on Ranger bid, like immediately when you order this one?
oh, as soon as I get the new one in, yes,
I'm thinking
immediately.
if we make a motion, we probably should make 2. One to purchase the new one and one to sell the other one on Ranger bid.
Okay.
2 separate or together?
Yeah, no, it should be separate. Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to purchase the Hustler mower from Kent Equipment for $13,696.
Second.
So I motioned, Trudy seconded, and then we will roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes. Amanda?
Yes.
Yes.
Trudy?
Yes.
Peggy? Yes.
All right, that motion carries.
And I make a motion that we list the old mower on open bid on Ranger.
I'll second that. So motion by Rhonda, seconded by me to sell the old mower on Ranger bid. We'll roll call vote again, and then Rhonda, can you start with a different person every time? Just ask, like, start with Peggy this time.
Have to do that as part of, oh, all right, I'll do that. Okay then, Amanda?
I say yes.
Yes.
Trudy?
Yes.
Peggy? Corey? Me? 5.
All right, motion carries.
I believe next is the annual preventative maintenance for the 12 sewer lift stations with CNC. He did basically lay out what he does and checks on those and the price. It's something that we do every year, and it gives us gives us the opportunity to be more proactive than reactive.
You mentioned the Washington lift station. Have we gotten anything back for the insurance on that claim?
That's my next item. This is the inspections with the electrical inspector, CNC Chuck Delano.
Okay.
So he runs a multitude of tests on all of these lift stations, the pumps, everything that we can possibly do to give us an idea of where the pumps are getting weaker, where they're maintaining, what needs to be replaced in the future. Just gives us a roadmap to where the pump stations are and where we need to go in the future.
I make a motion that we pay for preventative maintenance for all 12 lift stations in the amount of $4,950 to CNC Electric.
Second.
All right, so motion by Amanda, second by Trudy. And we will do a roll call vote.
Okay, myself, yes. Cory,
Yes.
Peggy? Yes. Trudy?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Is that right? Am I doing
Motion
that right?
carries.
That is silly. Okay.
So next, so Washington Lift Station took a power surge from a lightning strike during a storm that we had last summer. So what I wanted to do was to actually put in bigger and better components that would take that surge during that type of storm. Because what we had to do was replace 2 VFDs, and it was a very expensive fix. So after discussing it with Chuck, these are some items that we can do to make that more surge protective. I mean, will it still stop a direct lightning strike? No. I mean, but it'll be a lot more protected than what it was. And that's a price of $1,850 to upgrade to bigger power electrical surges and gauges.
I make a motion to approve the updates to,
Washington.
is it Washington for $1,850.00.
I second that.
Motion by Cory, second by Peggy to perform Washington Lift Station updates in the amount of $1,850. And we will roll call vote again.
Cory,
Yes.
Amanda,
Yes.
Peggy? Yes. Trudy?
Yes.
And myself, yes.
Thank you.
Motion
I got
carries.
all 5?
I'm gonna go backwards just a little bit to my projection.
Okay.
For special projects, some of these are things that we did during the winter, when we weren't plowing and salting. If anybody had a chance to go to Sunset Beach, we completely redid the boat launch.
Yay.
I mean,
That's
we took
beautiful.
that thing right down to the bare metal. We re-welded everything we could. We took it to spec abrasion, had it all completely powder coated, all new wood, all new materials, all new skid plates, bumpers, everything. And I'm so excited for budget hearings to show you guys this new fishing dock that I've been doing a ton of research on. It is gonna really, it's gonna blow your mind when you see the new fishing dock and the boating dock together, and with Michael getting rid of all of the sludge. It's gonna be, you're gonna have more people than just people living on the lake. You're gonna have everybody in the county wanting to go there.
Oh, there we better get it.
Hopefully not them.
We gotta get a picture.
But,
We have to get a kiosk out there.
We completely repaired Smokey the bear that got took out by a motorist this winter.
Thank
So we
you.
repaired all that. We're gonna be taking out one of them farther cedar trees so the fire department has a better vision when they come out of the fire department because they've been so big. Believe it or not, when that was all done, there was 5 cedars there. We took it down to 3 because another motorist went through and drove through the same spot going the opposite way. So we're gonna re-landscape that whole area, put Smokey the Bear in there. I've got all the things that we're doing at the cemetery. And we're gonna be getting, I just did get approval for all that Michigan beach sand that we're gonna be able to get from the city of Muskegon. All we pay is the trucking to get it. We use it for all of our sandboxes, under the slides, under the swing sets. And we just keep getting as much as we can for the Sunset Beach itself. And it's all on our hourly wage and the dump truck. But we do that for almost a week straight. We're gonna be power brooming all the sidewalks this spring. We're gonna be power brooming everything that we did for snow plowing and any kind of damage that we had there. We did start doing some things on the ADA. I just got that report, so now I know what to do. We're gonna be getting the braille for the men's and women's bathrooms. There's a lot of parking that's gonna have to be looked at during budget time. We're gonna redo all the paints and everything for the handicap. And when this new fishing dock comes, we're gonna have the sidewalk. We're looking at a mat for anybody on a wheelchair to get out and enjoy the fishing dock.
So the fishing dock, is that, cause the wooden one was part of the grant?
I believe that is after the board meeting, public comment.
You don't have another public comment.
What's your question, Renee?
Is the new fishing dock that you're looking at, is that going to be okay, approved through the grant?
Yes, it's all ADA, it's gonna have I have to get it budgeted first.
Uh-huh.
So it's gonna be up to the board and the sales pitch that I can put out there. Once it gets budgeted, obviously we have to go through the course of 3 bids. But, if you wanna see this dock, it's at the Wago J&C, it's amazing. The sales guy is super cool, it's gonna be, no wood, it's all aluminum, and it will last this township 50 years plus.
Her question was, is it, since it was paid for with a grant, it's okay for us to completely revamp it? I believe so, as long as
Yes.
we have one. Similar, you know,
Yes.
same size, same.
Well, I
We're
know
gonna have a
that's-
It's
fishing
going to
dock.
be better,
Well,
actually.
because when we had the pavilion, we had to use part of the pavilion that was originally there in order for the grant for it to still be under the grant and us not have to pay for the pavilion. Is the dock gonna be is it the same way with the dock? Or are we going to have to pay separate for the dock? Because it doesn't fall under what the grant
The pavilion
for
at
the
Wolf
original
Lake,
dock was
the
for.
pavilion at Wolf Lake, we paid to take it down and we paid for a new one. Because it wasn't usable because it had gotten underwater.
We don't think
And
the one at
and you're
Pine
right,
Ridge
it's a
was just
grant
given
in
to us.
perpetuity.
I know we had to pay for
We
it.
have to do
I know that, but I
Yep,
just,
sure,
I
the
know that
grant
there
says
was a
in perpetuity,
concern that, a portion of it, when we moved it, cause John worked forever getting permission from the state to move it, and with you putting a metal dock in, is that still okay under the grant? Okay, thank you.
Sleep easy. Without further ado,
Yes, let's,
the one and only, the best caretaker that I've ever, 19 years, Sherry absolutely
Thank you,
did a fantastic job this summer. So happy to have her on our team, just did an amazing job, took the bull by the horns, organized everything. I guess, obviously it was her first year, so there was hiccups and problems, but she overtook them, she flourished. She really is from this community in Egelston, and
I'm going home now.
no, I love you. So if anybody has any questions, this is Sherry, our caretaker.
Hello.
Hi, Sherry. Get to know that guy in the back there. He will be your best friend.
Oh, will you?
yeah, that 1% that you had to deal with this year.
Well, she dealt with probably 10%.
Yes, yes. Yes, but
We wish it was only one person.
Don't know what you guys want me to say.
Do you have anything you want to share with us? You sent us a letter, but if you
Yeah.
have any other comments that you want to share, you can go first.
Well, the only thing that I'm one person, and we're getting a lot of the little riffraff and the damages and stuff like that. And if the community can kind of just help keep an eye out when they see something, if it don't look right, call, because I don't have eyes back here,
Right.
over here, and I'm home a lot. I see a lot of stuff, but when I'm in my living room, I can't see the park.
Right.
I hear things, I get up, I look, but.
I guess it's up to me to look.
there you go.
On the
Look on
other
that side.
side.
Make sure
It's definitely a community.
Yeah, if people can be just a little more aware of what's going
Yeah.
on, be a little more helpful.
I've told our pins that we're going to use them a lot this summer. We're just going to be calling because
Yeah.
I don't want you chasing down power skateboarder people and teens with bats.
Does she have the ability to call? You do, if there's a situation. John always said, don't deal with yourself, call 911. Like, I'm thinking of marijuana in the bathroom. If you could call either 911 or our pins, and it's a time they're here, they could come right over there and deal with it.
Well, I get
Issue
a lot
citation or something.
of, the other concern is the school kids come for the lunch break. And I sit right in my living room and I look and they walk right down the hill and there they are huffing, smoking weed, vaping, everything underneath the sun. We do have a spot in a corner by the building that they do like to hide there, but what do you do?
But when you see them coming, could you call either
But by the
personally our
time,
pins?
they got 20 minutes.
Yeah, but
and
our
by the
pins are
time-
in the township.
But we have to go through 911, right, Diaz?
Yeah, so we gotta make sure that we're capturing the numbers that it's coming in and stuff. So if you call me to direct, it kind of takes it off.
Okay.
Right.
But she
But-
could ask for you since she
That-
needs someone close?
100%, and that's something too that I think would be good to bring up to the schools, right? Because it's kind of Kurt's responsibility, the high schoolers, and that'd be a perfect thing for him to go down there during lunchtime.
That's what I think, that if it'd be good for them.
We had that in the past, there was a principal, and he brings up a great topic, is the principal that we had a couple years ago actually came to Beals and took lunch there for multiple lunches. And even if the school can, I don't know if there's like a schedule they can get different tough teachers to just go down there just for a lunch break.
Tough teachers.
They're union. You don't wanna give up your union time.
Well,
Former teacher here.
I know the other principal did it.
Yeah, the
That was
principal.
about 3 years
They're
ago.
not
and
part
he
of
did
teacher
it every
union.
lunch
It's always
break, and
worth
it really helped.
Yeah, teachers are.
And I can start taking lunch breaks down there too. Anytime that Sherry calls me, I am
Well,
Johnny
when
on
they
the-
see me, they just kind of go this way and that way and try to get out of my view, but I can't be out there.
Well, another
all
good
the
thing is
time.
too, like, the teachers know the kids.
Mhm.
Like, I'll be like, yeah, it was a 15-year-old that took off this way, you know, and I got a clothing description, but it doesn't do much, so like, I think having the schools more involved with it would help us out. They're gonna call us to write the MIP tickets,
Mhm.
but I can't tell you Joe from Sam, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So,
Well, I've got some that are really familiar. I know I can pick them right out, but I don't know them by name.
You know, another thing that I did talk with our deputies about is if we have repeat problems from the same kids, we can trespass them and they won't be allowed to go to the park.
And that's
we
what
have.
I'm having
We have
is
done
it's
that.
the
We have done that
repeats.
with adults too.
I caught a couple with baseball bats that were gonna smash some things. I was down with my kids and I was away from the bathroom area and I saw them as they were locking each other, one locking the other in the bathroom, and I ran over there real quick and I was like, hey, and then they took off running the other way.
Mhm. Yeah,
But-
it's just they,
A lot of mischief.
a lot. And I'm learning though, they're teaching me very well. They are.
What about pavilion rentals? Did that go okay for you?
Yeah, for the most part, it went okay. I had a few problems with people coming in not wanting to leave, but you know, that got kind of,
call us.
Call 911, yep.
yeah.
Don't forget,
Exactly.
some of the people were coming in when they didn't have.
Oh, yeah,
reserves.
and I think I talked to you, Trudy,
Yes.
about this. I had a lady coming in, erasing the board, putting their names up there, saying that they rented it, and I'm like, nobody rented this today. So I'm having those kind of issues. I talked to Herb, he's gonna get me new locks, so that I can make sure those are locked, so that we can eliminate that problem.
You did a wonderful job though.
Absolutely.
Always so clean. Every time I've been there, I see her out riding around in the cart, getting garbages and
That
checking
golf
on
cart's my
things.
best friend.
The caretaker house is like a gingerbread house. It is the most beautiful I've ever seen it in 19 years. And I just want to say thank you for
Oh,
everything that you
thanks.
do for the
Appreciate
township
it.
out there.
I enjoy it. It was a tough year. I mean, 3 weeks in, I thought I was gonna hit the door and run, but I hung in there. I enjoy
Very
it.
tough job.
I enjoy it. I've got a routine down, and you know,
Just call 911 if you don't
Yeah.
think it's too small of a problem.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's just
like you
that
said, they're there to
90% of the time, if I called them, by the time they got there, the kids would be gone
We
anyway.
get about a 2-minute response.
Okay.
So depends that, we don't leave. Me and Deputy Derek,
Uh-huh.
we stay within Egelston.
Okay.
So we can get pretty much anywhere within about 2 to 3 minutes tops.
Okay.
Should she say
Unless we're
anything
on a call.
specific to 911? Like, hey, I'm the caretaker? Or
Yeah,
does
no,
that
that's-
relay
yep,
to you?
caretaker,
We need a
yeah.
pins.
Yep.
We need our
Okay.
pins
Okay. Okay.
for that situation.
But she's also been very tough on those kids as well, and fair.
Yeah.
I mean, she's had kids that went to Oak Ridge, obviously.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
weren't like that.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't want to be out there. I don't want to be a patrol officer to them or anything like that. But when they're damaging stuff, and I have to say what I have to say and report who I got to report. So
If you're safe, feeling safe, you could take pictures too of them. That might.
Oh,
send
I
them
have.
back in.
I
That
have.
way that will help.
I have done that. But most of the time when they're doing their really evil stuff, I'm nowhere to be around.
Yeah, they're sneaking.
They know my car, so they go, hey, she ain't home. Let's go do this now. So, but
We appreciate you.
thank you.
Yes, we
I
do.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. Anything else? Anybody want to know?
Ready to sign another contract for 2 more years?
I thought we are all set for September renews.
Thank you for being here, Sherry.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks for
On a really good note, I'm a third-time grandpa. My son had a baby girl. I have a granddaughter, and 2 grandsons, so I'm gonna go check that out.
Go check it out.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Bye, Grandpa.
Hey, Grandma.
All right, next item is cleanup for Russ Road. We had one of these a few weeks ago. We've got another. We have 2 estimates. You'll see that one is quite lower than the other. We didn't have a third respond to this cleanup. The court order is in there. If they don't pay, it'll go on their taxes just like before. Did everyone find it next to their packet?
I think this is who did some others in the past, right?
Yeah,
We've done before. The
Property
lower one.
Services of Western Michigan had done some in the past. Last time we chose someone else because the bids were the same and one was more professional than the other. So I just let Cassidy know the reason behind the choice last time, and so she made sure to tell him, make it an official quote, so it is. And it is much less than the other estimate, so.
I make a motion to pay Property Services of West Michigan LLC $2,000 for the cleanup of 5435 Russ Avenue.
Second.
Trudy motioned, Peggy seconded. We will roll call vote.
Corey,
Yes.
Amanda,
Yes.
myself, yes. Trudy?
Yes.
Peggy? Yes.
All right, motion carries. The next item is road brining. So this had come up last year late in the season. There is an option with the Muskegon County Road Commission here and then an opt-out option. There's a detailed list, and then last year I asked for the information on brining from the GL. I was able to get that again. If you want do you guys have any questions about it, or otherwise I think we just need a motion to opt out.
I will make a motion that we opt out from the road commission. Oh, for the Brine program, sorry.
Can we table it till we get the other quote?
We
Supposed to have
can't
a
really
second before we
table
have
the.
discussion. I'm gonna second
the
that so we can
opt-out.
have discussion.
Okay, Trudy seconded. I don't think we could really table the opt-out because they have a deadline that's quick approaching. But we don't have to choose who we use for the ones that we do brine. We can vote who we brine with later. We just have to decide to opt out or to use their program tonight.
And you're thinking we piecemeal Vine Road in the.
I know for sure
Last
last
year.
year I called and they did it
we
within
just
2 hours.
did Vine and not everything they proposed.
Only Vine. And that's all that's in the GL. The other roads are not on there.
Yep.
One of them is like a DNR building or a state building, and it's the only building on the road that's on their list. So Jeff said, I don't know why we would do that.
And for the public in the audience or people at home, GL, when Amanda says, means a general ledger. The history of our county. and stuff.
Yeah, so the only checks coming out, there was 1 to the road commission, and then 3 to Michigan chloride sales, dating back to 2019. All right, so we had a motion and a second to opt out. Is there any more discussion? All right. Let's a roll call vote.
Amanda,
Yes.
me, yes. Corey,
Yes.
Peggy? Yes. Trudy?
Yes.
All right, motion carries, we will opt out. The next item is a resignation. Unfortunately, Ike is resigning from the PC. So we need to accept that resignation regretfully and wish him well. And I wanted to announce, if anyone's interested in serving on the PC, to please get a hold of me. I noticed that Muskegon Charter Township is looking for trustees, and I liked that they said, you know, email the supervisor, let her know what your qualities are, why you want to serve, what you would bring to the table. So just want to give everyone an opportunity. I hate the idea of just choosing some random name. So if you're interested, please let me know in the next week or so I can make an appointment at our meeting the beginning of April. I think it's April 2nd. And then next up is copy machines, and our rep is here. So this was on the agenda a few weeks ago. It didn't make a lot of sense, the options. I was a little confused because it didn't, I don't know, I was having a hard time reading through what the options were and what's working and what's not. So if you'd like to come speak, and then we'll have a little question and answer, and then go from there.
Absolutely. Thank you, board. I'm Dustin Chainer, owner of Office Machines Company, a fourth generation family business, and I want to start by thanking the board and the township and the residents for well more than a decade of continuous business and many decades of business with my family business over the years. So thank you. It's your tax dollars, and it's our stewardship and the board stewardship that keeps us here. Here to avail myself to any questions the board has about the proposals on hand. I know we have an individual proposal for replacing the copy machine for the township, but then also discounting available for also at the same time taking care of the fire barn, and there's some technical reasons why we feel that both should be replaced sooner rather than later. So you want to start with questions, and I can get into some of the technicals. I think you have questions on the proposals.
Yeah, I think the biggest question was, it says that, you know, it's still good through 2027, so why now? I do notice sometimes there's a slight delay. You know, I understand the frustration when you have a resident at your window and they want a copy of their bill, that you don't want to make them wait for the 10 seconds for the machine to warm up.
Sure.
But at a price tag of $10,000, it also seems like maybe they could wait for 10, 15 seconds instead of spending 10 grand. So if you could maybe address that, and then I'll see if anyone else has other questions.
Yes. Okay, I can wait for you. I got a question.
You go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
Didn't our last meeting or two back, we said we were not going to just write it out?
We did, and Trudy was not here that meeting, and she asked me to put it back on the agenda and to have them come and speak to us. So at her request, I invited them to come and speak and give us more information.
So I'd like to address that question.
Yes, go ahead.
So that the copy machine in the township pod, I can't speak for the fire department,
Yes.
is a critical piece of equipment for us, almost all of us in the office.
Yes.
All of our color copies are through that. Our sewer billing, the cards that we print are through that. We scan, that's the only place we scan is through that copier. It's about 4.5 years old. It is getting slower to wake up. I mean, it's showing some signs of age. I have to say, when we call, they are there within an hour. And your company doesn't charge us for a toner nor any of those calls. And the cost of copies currently, I think, is 1 cent for black and white and 5 for color. I think it went up to 6 in here, but it's wonderful to have that. Dwight stopped by last week, and I had a question about our color copies, and I noticed they were really high. I'm like, we don't make that many. And he and I solved that problem, and it was a setting, and it was wonderful, just like that. It was taken care of.
Yep.
So it works. It still does work, and it's okay till 2027, I believe, and then parts aren't available. But from my perspective in the office, we have a machine that works. It does take a while to wake up. It used to be instantaneous when we first got it. And there can be 3 or 4 people at the window, and sometimes residents don't bring their tax bills, so I have to make copies. And when we're busy, those few seconds or 20 seconds or whatever, it's kind of critical to us. I don't like having people waiting out there. I get it, we can wait a little bit, but when there's something better and more efficient, and we think we're going to replace them at some point, I wanted her to put it back, Amanda to put it back on there, because I believe we should have it now. If there's something better and more efficient for us to use, why are we waiting? It's a simple budget amendment. We have money in our general fund. A budget amendment like when we approved additional snow plowing, had we had to use that service, we would just make a simple journal entry, 2 journal entries to do that. Our website design is going to be a budget amendment because we didn't budget for that last year, and, you know, all of our new website and all that. So, and also, I don't know how you are, but over 3 or 4 months, prices might increase like they always do. I think you've been good at holding the line there relative to other places. So I just think if we're going to spend the money and you think we need it, I don't want us to have to wait in the office if there's something better and more efficient that we could be using.
If I may address some things, I'm kind of blow some minds here. So the piece of equipment that you have in the front office there is actually a refurbished piece of equipment. So it's actually almost 10 years old. Okay. So one of the things that we believe as a company is, you know, using refurbished or even used equipment and refurbishing that whenever we can. Because if you were to, say, need to amortize a new piece of equipment and you purchased it, you might have to look out and say, okay, if I buy this office copier, I need to be able to, you know, depreciate this over 10 years, okay? Well, it's a lot harder to predict 10 years in the future what your needs are going to be. If you buy a refurbished piece of equipment, you get it for about half the cost of new, you only have to look forward 5 years and you have a 5-year inflection point, okay? So when these pieces of equipment were acquired, one in 2021 coming up in 4.5, 5 years, we have another year or so of predicted parts availability before. It's not that we couldn't service it, it's just that those things are becoming, we can see the shakiness in the market. COVID shrunk up some of the parts lines and made these things happen faster. We just think that a 5-year inflection point is better than having to forecast the next 10 years. Now you can take a brand new copier, which would be $10,000 for one, you know, thereabouts, and you could run it for 5 years and then get rid of it, but you'd be throwing away a lot of the value that the piece of equipment can bring. Why we're here tonight is because the piece of equipment that's in the township here is facing something quite different. It's not just the parts availability, but it is also something from Microsoft called Windows Protected Print. The device you have will not be able to print with traditional print drivers after Microsoft enforces Windows Protected Print. This is an industry-wide problem. It's something that we did not foresee. Nobody could have foreseen. This is literally the way that printers work, is you install a piece of software, and that is specific to that device that's installed on your computer. It's called a print driver. Microsoft is doing away with all of that. And certain devices that are older, like the one that you have, are not going to be able to utilize that new system without a whole lot of carve-outs. Okay? Muskegon Central Dispatch has identified this as something that is on the radar problem. We agree. We see it as something where Microsoft has they never tell us when they're going to do something and then honor it. This might be 26, it might be 27, it might be 28, but in order to stay up, the device that you have, you again paid approximately half, probably even 40% of the cost of new at that time. Okay, and you're at 4.5, nearly 5 years, so we'll call it half of the lifespan of it. So you're still beating the average, but this was an unforeseen circumstance. Okay, the one at the fire barn that we also have addressed as a potential savings by bringing those together, I personally sold and installed that device over 12 years ago. That was purchased as a brand new device, and as demonstrated, 10 to 12 years of service life, we have stood behind it 100%. That device has reached its absolute sunset. Parts are very difficult to come by. The supplies, we still have some, but that is becoming more urgent. And so, being a local, I was born and raised here, a person who understands finance and understands the value of time. If my team is going to be over here potentially taking care of an update for the township, and the fire barn is actually in worse shape, my people are here, my truck is here, more than one machine can hit. I save you 10% putting the two together into approximately a $9,000 purchase. You couldn't buy one new copier of that caliber from us today for the $9,000.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
The one we bought in August of 2021, I think we paid $4,900 for, which would be, two of them would be like $10,000, and you're offering it to us at $9,000 right now.
Facing a headwind of 30% inflation in the market.
Fresh ones.
Yeah.
Because our machine has over 500,000 copies on it.
Yep. And so I'd like to address the point too that Ms. Roseman brought forward, which is the cost per copy. So when I first stepped foot in the township, probably about 14 years ago, the incumbent vendor was charging nearly 30 cents per color copy. And that was after only about 7 years of that device being in. And if Ms. Rapp was here, She would be able to attest to the fact that that is what brought us in here. My grandfather had the township for typewriters and other things, but somewhere along the way we lost the business for a period of time, and the Grand Rapids vendor was at 28, 29 cents a color copy, as I recall, and about 3 cents for black and white. We're at, after nearly 5 years in this contract, we're at 6.1, a penny one, beating the industry.
Is.
Yeah, I mean,
It's only
so
been 5 in the past.
and so even there, when you look at, like, you know, how are we faring? Are our annual increases just lining our pockets with money, or are they just keeping up with what is current? We didn't line our pockets. The proposal you have on your desk there shows a cost per copy that's very comparable to where you're finishing out with your others. There's no, oh, we're going to take you from 15 or 20 cents back down to 6 cents. We have always been very reasonable and very steady, very even-handed with people. We do not believe in taking advantage, as nearly all of the other local municipalities will be able to attest to. Our company has been very, very steady, very responsive. We're local. We are the only Muskegon-owned, Muskegon-serving company in our industry. Everybody else is owned out of town. Everybody else is out of Grand Rapids or the big metros. We're here. I was born here. I was raised here. I live close by. My company's 8 minutes away, and so I would ask that the board consider the technology piece as the reason, and know that it's not just that we could deliver, you know, some faster, you know, speeds for things to move through and some efficiencies, but we're also preparing and have the wholehearted blessing from Muskegon Central Dispatch, who is about the most astute technology people that you could have in the whole county. In fact, they recommend things to the county, okay? They're saying that this is a problem. We know it's a problem, but they also recommend us everywhere they go because we are available. There are no phone loops. There is nothing standing between you and the ownership. I'm here, you know. I have a family at home just like many of you do, but I value that local business. So any further questions that I can answer?
Do you service anyone else in Egelston Township?
Yes, we service my name is Dwight, I'm with
Yes.
Office Machines. We service the bank across the street, as well as all their locations throughout the state. We service the automobile dealership or automobile
The muffler shop.
the muffler shop, exhaust specialties across the street. We service Fellowship Church down the street from you. Sethco, now over ISO Lumber, it's one of our customers also. We go out to Maple Island with Hillbillies Automotive out there. We service those folks. We're all throughout the area here. There are other, as Dustin alluded to, many of the townships, Muskegon Charter Township. We go up to Pere Marquette Township up in the Ludington area, Robinson Township, Ottawa, Sullivan, Ravenna, Dalton. All those fine townships are
Fruitland, North Muskegon, yeah.
North Muskegon,
yeah.
Fruitport, both the Charter Township, the fire and police departments. We service all the nonprofits, Muskegon Rescue Mission, their headquarters, as well as the shelter. We service Love in the Name of Christ, both Muskegon and Oceana counties, Child Abuse Council. We're here, and we serve many commercial businesses also.
Yeah, your money spent here, that money, the things that we do participate in and subsidizing costs for the local missions and things, that comes from all of our customers. That ability comes from people in Muskegon, and we're taking care of. We take care of almost all of the local mission groups, as Dwight had mentioned. So.
Mission for area people.
Yeah.
Most of the churches.
Yes.
First Lutheran of Muskegon, Forest Park Covenant, as I mentioned, Fellowship just down the street.
We could probably give you a list of 100, 200 places just, you know, within 10, 15 miles of you that work with us. The vast majority do, and so we really appreciate, you know, the opportunity. But is there any lack of clarity in the proposal about the reason why we're here?
I wasn't at the meeting, I was sick, but I thought the board maybe wanted to consider buying a new one, so could you address the difference between a new one and a refurbished? And
My question was, you sell both new and refurbished?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so our new price is targeted based on approximately 50%, or our refurbished price is targeted approximately 50% of new. Okay, and so these pieces of equipment you're beating, the ones that are in your packet, they're actually beating the average because they're approximately 3 years old. They have very few copies, so for us, we select stuff that has very few copies, things that say maybe have 100,000 copies, down to maybe as few as 10 or 15,000, with a design life, if you really ran them, of 1.2 to 1.5 million copies in this caliber, no problem. So we're not selecting something with a high meter count and selling you something that's garbage. And they all have 5-year mechanical performance guarantees, so if anything were to fail, we couldn't repair it in the first 5 years under the service maintenance agreement that we do. We will replace it free of charge. Happens very rarely, a couple times in the history of us doing it, but we honor it. And so buying a piece of refurbished equipment is only as good as the people behind it and who's going to back it up. And if you don't love it, if it's not working well, I'm going to take care of it. 99.9% is the number for us. 99.9%. So.
My reluctance was not with your company.
Yes.
I'm glad that we do business with you and
Yeah.
hope to continue. It was that I didn't know if it was time, and also, does the fire station really need an identical piece of equipment to a busy office? I guess I would say we're somewhat busy. Sometimes it's really dull here, but we do have a lot of employees on this side where the only ones really making copies of, there's only 2 employees a day at a maximum, maybe 3. So I didn't know if they would need the same kind of machine that we have here, because we do a lot more copies and prints and scanning and stuff like that. And then the other piece was just, I think I misread it and was thinking that our machine could be moved to the fire station. And should we do that for a year instead of purchasing 2 at once? I do see that there's a discount, and I didn't know about that software issue that you mentioned. I didn't see that in the email or the proposal, and no one at the office talked to me about it. So I do remember when you guys were here for the quote, I was sitting in my office and I just let the girls do their thing. But so I'm glad that I was looped into the process, and I'm glad you're here tonight.
Yes.
But that was mainly my reservation. I don't know if there are other questions, or if you know much about that machine and the use in the past 12 years. Is it being used quite regularly, or is there a different option that would be more suitable to a small fire department than the same as a busy office?
Yeah, so let me address that. So usage isn't the only thing that we use to calculate what we think would be a good machine. So there's things like the larger machines handle 11 by 17 paper for plans, okay? Not always something that is necessary, but most of our fire departments have historically asked for 11 by 17 machines.
Okay.
The full-size machines as well are approximately half the cost to operate. So if you can imagine the toner cartridge this big, like anyone who's had an HP printer at home, a little inkjet, that little piece of plastic with that ink is $60, and it makes about 200 pages. Okay, the per copy plan, the cartridges that are going into the machines bring a cost of, say, an inkjet of 25 cents a color copy for these little inks, all the way down to 6 cents because the toners are 24,000 yield. So really, when you go to something smaller, you can bring purchase price down, but when you're talking about taking and running something for multiple years, the efficiency of it is a whole different thing. So it often offsets those differences pretty significantly.
Would you say then in 5 years that the township board might look at purchasing a new one for our office, but that we could use the fire station one for another 10 as we did the last decade? Or would you say that that one would really have like a 5-year lifespan as well?
I'm gonna say it would be reasonable, to barring a strange, once in my time of 16, almost 17 years in the business situation like we're facing with the technology change at Microsoft, with this being 3 years old design, I would say 7 I think is reasonable. 7 years from now would be reasonable on this equipment, barring some other need or change. I'm backing it for 5 years, but I think it'd be reasonable to expect 7 years of service out of the refurbished equipment.
So but about the same time frame for both the township and the fire, even though
we would put those in the same time frame.
Okay.
Not because of usage, because the township nor the fire barn would ever wear these machines out based on copy usage, because as mentioned before, 1.2, 1.5 million pages can be made in a 5, 7, 10 year time frame.
Okay.
You won't wear the machines out. It'll be technology as your computer has a processor inside, the printer does too, and eventually it falls behind.
Gotcha.
Also, the larger devices are commercial devices as opposed to a smaller, like,
Mhm.
you know.
Serviceability.
Serviceability, commercial devices mean that they normally can be repaired on site. When our technicians come, they have parts and pieces, you don't have to wait.
Yeah.
In the rare instance where we didn't have a part or a piece, you know, for an extended period of time, we would put a loaner
Okay.
in its place. Also, the smaller machines, and you got a larger machine, they wouldn't be able to even share parts. So
Supplies.
the machines that we're proposing, they have common supplies.
Okay.
So,
Easy enough to borrow neighbor to neighbor if you had a situation. I mean,
Right.
we are only a few minutes away, but if you needed something, you could walk next door and say, hey, can we get that extra supply from you? So,
Gotcha.
yep.
They also hire residents of Egelston Township. You have one working there now, Robert.
Yes, we do. And, you know, he was same class of 2008 Oak Ridge that I was, and we've worked together a long time, and more than a decade. And I went to school with your son too as well.
Yes.
So, yeah. Okay.
So, what's the guarantee that these things are not gonna have a problem with the software if that's the biggest issue that we're having with the one that we have?
There is none. Okay, so that would be true of a brand new device or or something that's 2 or 3 years old. The manufacturer will do certain things, but the chipsets that are on board can sometimes not be made to do some of the new things. So what I would say is that in 17 years of doing this, this is the one and only time I've ever seen such an aberration. And it did happen not to machines that were 6 or 7 years old, or even 8 years old or 9 years old. Literally the one you have is the cutoff. The 4070N you have, the one that came the next year, is supported for all of the stuff that we need to support going forward. It's just an unfortunate set of timing that made this particular device live a slightly shorter life. We like to see 10 to 12 years. We're going to get 10. We're asking you to replace it after it's probably 9.5, coming close to 10 years old. So it's a slight limitation on what it really got as far as its usable life, but not something that I have seen very often, and it's a very unique situation.
What's the cost difference on a new one?
Approximately double.
What's the cost on leasing?
$19.35 per thousand financed. So if you want to put anything down, if you take that price there, so if you took, if it was $10,000, it'd be $193.50 a month to lease both of them together. So, approximately half that.
And the leasing covers the maintenance contract too?
The leasing is for the device only, but the per copy charge that we send to you, the penny 1 and 6 cents, or penny 2 and 6 cents, that is how we provide the toner, developer, parts, and labor. Yeah.
and that covers all parts, all labor, all toner, all on-site labor, all call-out fees. The only thing you supply would be paper, and if staples if you had a finisher on it.
Yeah.
Did this ball with the replacement machines, did that get rolling on behalf, did the township initiate or did you guys initiate?
A little of both. So the ball has actually been rolling for 2 years. We sent letters out in 2024 about the other one at the fire barn. I don't have it. I didn't send it certified mail, so I don't know who received it. But we sent letters saying, hey, this machine is coming to the end of its time. It's time to start considering a replacement because it was purchased outright. It wasn't leased. So it didn't show up as a, hey, your lease is up and we got to do something.
Right.
We let it run as long as it could naturally live, and we sent notifications out. This other one was really us looking across our base after discovering we were going to have a problem along with all the other manufacturers, and in consultation with Muskegon Central Dispatch, we were becoming very aware that we needed to get out there and make some calls and talk to some people who had these machines that were right on that edge, because usually most of them are either in the same boat as you, they're right on the cusp of replacing a machine that's approaching 10 years old total that they maybe have had for 4 to 5 years, okay, because it was refurbished. So that's what brought it up, is recognizing that in consultation with the central dispatch.
Okay.
Are you giving us anything for our old one? Or are you just taking it?
So what we do with the old one is we trade what's left of that as far as parts go. We trade that for professional data destruction services. So we pull the hard drive out, we destroy that, we destroy any memory modules on the machine, and then we properly recycle the machine. So we take what little is left of the value of the machine itself and trade you for taking care of the data and the machine responsibly, so no.
Well, it's the reason I'm asking is because we got one that's even older than that back
Mhm.
there. If we wanted to put it back here,
If you want to put it back there as a convenience copier or use it until that time comes, we have no objection to that. There's no concern for us other than just at some point somebody will call and say, hey, and we're gonna have to deliver that bad news. I'm sorry, I don't have that thing, or it's now special order, and we're really, we expect that's gonna come in 2027, maybe 2028 before it becomes special order all the time. It's just they shut down the parts lines. They've gotten really trim since COVID on the parts lines. It shortened up the lifespan of those because everybody's gotten very lean in technology.
I believe the machine that you're referring to is the Sharp 3110, which is actually probably...
Oh, no.
Back there, that one
Yeah,
came
this
out of
one.
our office when we got the other one, I think.
Yeah, I installed that one too many years
Right,
ago.
right.
Yes,
And
yep.
if you're gonna use it as a copier, fine.
Until it breaks.
However, it would not work well on your network.
Yeah.
It probably would be disallowed by central dispatch because it had very, 25 years ago, they didn't just know what hackers could do.
Yeah.
And that's a gateway into your network, and that's
Yeah.
something that you do not want.
So use it as a convenience if you wish,
Yeah, but
and we will, after the fact, if we do these replacements and you want to move those to like on-call service and supports, we'll do everything we can for as long as we can. But in our contract, we average 4 business hour response. In order to be that company, we have to be able to I carry 6 to 12 weeks of inventory on hand. I buck the lean trend because I don't want to be dependent on the ports shutting down. I don't want to be dependent on politicians and all of that to be, making decisions about what's going to come in and what's going to come out. We never missed a shipment during COVID, not one. I guarantee you we're the only company on this side of the state that did that, but that was because I saw it coming. I was prepared. So, anything else?
Well, thank you. You enlightened me that I didn't know the information of.
Well, we really appreciate the opportunity, and again, to everybody, including the residents. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to outright purchase 2 units at $9,000. It would be the refurbished ones from Office Machines Company.
I second it.
We have a motion by Trudy and a second by Rhonda. And we will roll call vote.
Amanda?
Yes.
Corey?
no.
Me, yes. Peggy? No.
Emmy, yes.
Pardon?
Yes.
Trudy, yes.
Okay, so the motion passes 3-2. All right, looking for a motion to pay the bills.
I make a motion that we pay the bills.
I second that.
Motion by Peggy, second by Corey, and we will roll call vote.
Me, yes. Corey?
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
Trudy?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes. And looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 9 p.m.